So I got a couple things that I kind of want to go over in this video. Obviously, we're going to talk about the match, Arsenal versus Liverpool, but then there's some hypocrisy, right? Or hypocrisy, as they call it, amongst the Liverpool supporters. How are you guys going to back Trent now that it's an actual game? It's at Anfield. You didn't love that some of the crowd was booing, singing Steven Gerrard's song, singing "There's One Connor Bradley" after he came on and Connor came off. But it's the same lot and the same crowd calling him a lizard, calling him a rat. So I just don't. You gotta pick sides in this thing. It's like the John Morant meme. Stay over there, stay on that side. Like people are saying that, oh, you don't boo a Liverpool player. You don't boo someone that still has that Liverpool shirt on, that has the crest on their chest still, all the way up into their last day. But you call him a rat. But you call him a traitor. You call him a lizard. You call him this. You call him. I just don't get it. But that's besides the point. I will say that when he came on, there was confusion at Anfield, and you can totally tell it was a mixed reception. Some fans cheering, some fans booing, and I feel like it threw the team off a little bit. When he came on, I feel like we were already obviously had that one goal that went in, but we lost all the tooth. We lost a lot of the fight that we saw in the first half. And talking about the first half, fantastic first half. We looked like we were going to run away with this. We were locked in. We were cutting this Arsenal side open pretty much at will. And this is the type of attack that we've saw in flashes this season. And the fact that we've been able to actually win a title when this hasn't really been our default pretty much all season is actually really impressive. And I think Arne Slot needs a little bit more credit for the work that he's done in this Liverpool side. We made it look very easy. It looked like we were about to stroll through to maybe a 3 or 4-0 victory. And then the second half kind of happened. And I'll talk about the second half in a little bit, but I do want to talk about the positives a little bit, right? Because I think it's going to be really easy to default to the negatives after watching a match like this. But I think we are 2 to 3 top players away from becoming a real problem in world football in general. In Europe, we're going to dominate the Premier League, but the right signings need to definitely happen. Barring that second half, I think we played very, very good. And I think we can take a lot of positives out of the side. The side's very good. And I think we looked really good with Connor Bradley at right back in that first half. And it gave the back line a sense of confidence that went away in that second half. I don't know if, and we were talking about this in the Discord a little bit, of VVD almost looks nervous next to Robbo and vice versa. And I think Trent perpetuates that, right? Where they know that they're one mistake away, one slip away from being in panic mode, and the ball starts pinballing around the box. And next thing you know, the ball's in the back of the net, right? And I really want us to kind of get away from that notion. And I don't know if it's a personal thing, a lack of trust, whatever it might be amongst the players, but I do feel like there is some tension amongst that back line, right? And I do think we can truly get better. And the fact that we've taken the boogeymen, PSG, of Europe, basically to penalties, not basically, we took them to penalties. We beat them at home, and we probably should have beat them when they were at Anfield as well. It gives me a lot of hope for this side. But then there's the other side of the coin, right? Which we'll talk about in a second. But Slot, what he's been able to do tactically with this team is nothing short of a miracle. And I think we need to start acknowledging that a lot more now that we see what can happen in that first half, what this side is capable of. And then in the second half, we can see why this side has a ceiling, right? Why this side can't take that next step to be an extremely dominant team. And the fact that Slot's been able to coach through a lot of the misgivings, a lot of the mistakes, a lot of the flaws that are very, very clear and very, very glaring in this team is a testament to who we hired. It definitely is. 100%. But tell me where you guys are watching the channel from. Subscribe to the channel if you can, if you enjoy the content, if you want to continue to follow this journey. But while you're down there, who could you see Liverpool bringing into this side that could be a keystone moving forward in this team? Mo Salah is obviously coming into the twilight of his career. I think his numbers are going to go down next season. VVD is a similar thing. Trent is going. Who is going to be our next talisman in this team? I have a lot of dibs on Maka, But I do think we need to bring in some more strong characters and extremely talented players. But let me know who you guys think down below. Now let's talk a little bit about the negative. Just because a player can play in a position doesn't mean a player should play in a position. And let me explain what I'm talking about. The way that Sabo set up that first that I believe it was the second goal. Sorry, the second goal shows me that Sabo should be playing in attack. And just because he can cover ground and he can get back and he can do the defensive work doesn't mean that he should. Similar to like how Federico Valverde is with Real Madrid, just because he can play right back and he can play multiple positions. Same thing with Camavinga. Just because they can do those things doesn't mean that they should be doing those things and those are their best position. Same thing with Ryan Gravenberch. Same thing with Alexis McAllister. These players are so good and they're so smart that we can get away with playing them as DMs and as eights and as, box to box tens like Sabo is, and maybe they shouldn't, right? Where we saw that Maka, a majority of last season played as a six. He can do that, but his best position is probably an eight or maybe even a 10, right? And same thing with Ryan. He can play as a six, but his best position is probably a ball carrying eight, right? And Sabo can play as a 10, but he's probably better suited as a wide attacking midfielder or wide forward, right? His crossing is top notch. He can hit a Hollywood ball, fantastic shot power, dangerous in the box, very good dribbling, pinpoint passing when he's in close. Those are the things that you want in the final third, not him tracking back trying to cover for Trent, who obviously isn't going to be in the side anymore, or be in the legs for Salah, right? So the mistakes and weaknesses in this Liverpool side are showing. Can Slot do anything about that now? No, we've won a title, right? Thanks to a lot of his brilliance and the brilliance of this team. And don't get me wrong, this is a very good team, like I said before. But there are glaring weaknesses that I think needs to be addressed if we want to continue to take the next step next season. Because Man City are going to come back stronger. Arsenal are going to come back stronger, right? We can't take them for granted. Yes, they shot themselves in the foot with the red card and things like that, but they're still a good side. And as much, banter that I have for Arsenal, they're still a good side, and they showed that today, right? We have to be on the front foot coming next season, and we got to revamp. I think this front line, like what Reese said in the Discord, it needs a full renovation down to the studs because we cannot continue to do pass it to Mo and pray. Pass it to Mo and inshallah. You know what I mean? We can't keep doing that. And you could see in that second half, anytime the ball would get fed out to that right wing with Mo, the players would go into Medusa mode. They would just stand still and say, Mo, do something. Get the ball to me somehow, some way. Do an outside of the foot, pass and bend it into my path. There has to be movement. There has to be fluidity. There has to be intelligence in attack, similar to how PSG is. And I'm seeing a lot of reports that Slot admires the PSG style of play, which I love, which is why we're linked to a lot of very attacking wide backs. And I hope a lot of those stuff come into fruition. But we're going to need movement in the front line. The way that the PSG side can interchange and free flow in that corral. Scalia sometimes shows up on the right, sometimes on the left. Dembele's in the middle. Dembele's on the left. Dembele's on the right. Doué, he sometimes will be on the left. Sometimes he'll be on the right. Sometimes he'll drop down in the midfield and play as the fluidity has to be there with those players. I think we have the personnel in a Sabah in a Mo Salah, who played almost as like a number 10 today and barely shot the ball in that first half, which I think benefits him. But there's going to have to be times where I think he needs to be able to switch from both mindsets. Because today you can obviously tell he was going after that assist. You could tell selfishly. And he just forgot that he also can impact the game by scoring. And sometimes you just got to play the game and the goal and the assist will come. But I do think we have some pieces there to play that style of play. But we're going to have to bring in the right personnel if we want it to be very effective, right? So it's interesting. It's very interesting. And I've said this in a previous video before. I don't think we've ever seen a team that has gone on to win a league, but also is in a position in a transitionary phase as a team. And that's us right now. I think we need a full revamp of not a full revamp of the back line, but a refresh. Obviously, now with Trent leaving, I think Connor is going to need support in that position. I think he is the long-term solution. Why Frimpong makes so much sense for me is that Connor gets to continue to develop. Frimpong can play in different positions and potentially deputize, not just for Connor, but also for Mo Salah and be a real threat. You should see the goal that he scored today. If you haven't, go check that out. Look, the goal that he scored today with his weak foot, mind you, on that right-hand side. He can play as a right back. He can play as a right winger. It's smart. Kirkes is basically a younger version of Andy Robertson. Robbo has lost a lot of his technique. I don't know where it's kind of gone, but that refresh needs to happen. The attack needs a full rebuild. So, the man of the match. Who do you guys think? I don't know. I'm going to go with Szoboszlai. Comment down below who your guys' man of the match is. I'm not 100% sure who even to pick. The first half was so good. I mean, it could have been any of them. And then the second half, it kind of, we kind of lost a lot of the positivity that I was bringing into that first half on, who could be man of the match, who could not. But you guys let me know, seriously. And the last thing that I kind of want to leave you guys off on is, who do you guys think is coming in? Who do you guys think is coming into the side? I think we need a right back, a left back, a defensive midfielder, and a forward or two. And out of those positions, if we maybe sign 4 players, who's your top players do you think comes in and improves and makes this side better? I know we always talk about signings on this channel. That's the flavor of the season right now. We actually do need some support and some help. And hopefully today, this game has showed that and made that very clear to you, because Arne Slot doesn't have very many options that he can pick from coming off the bench. And I know people are like, play Chiesa, play Harvey, whatever it might be. He did that last game. And Harvey did come on in this match. And he wasn't able to really impact the game. We need players that can come on and make a difference and maybe even be starters for this team and fight for these positions and not be okay with being a bit part player. I think as Liverpool FC, we deserve that as fans. But some positives in this game, not all negative. We are still champions. Don't forget that, guys. We're still champions of this thing. Guard of honor from Arsenal injected into my veins. But I will be seeing you guys in the next video. I'm going to be doing some more content this week, posting more than I have this month. It's been very busy, but I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in the channel. I will see you on the next one. You guys are amazing. I love you all. Peace.